powered by SID Media. From broadcast to baptism.
Just to make sure that we are all on the same page, Abuti Lunga, I just want to see, or rather hear, if you can hear me and whether I can hear you. You are currently muted, but good morning. There we go.
Good morning. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you very much. Okay. Is the sound good on your side?
Yes, it is. I'm just also trying to move into a more quieter place.
Okay, I'll give you a few minutes for that. All right, as the coach moves into a bit of a more quiet place, we are having a conversation on, I think I changed the title, Nyana. Yes, it's resentment that we're talking about, but I thought about it in terms of it's not just the effects of resentment on relationships, but it's more of the effects of resentment on you, like on me if I am resentful, and also on my ability to relationships. So the resentment that you have and your ability to relationship with other people who might even have nothing to do with that resentment, or people that maybe have hurt you. And what it also does to you as a person. We don't always see the effects of some of these things, ne? Because it's not tangible. You can't see it with the naked eyes, but we believe that they affect us, and that's the issue, or those are the issues that we then need to navigate in this hectic climate of toxicity and not always knowing how to navigate things. And some people, we've spoken about this before, boundary setting. And some people you've noticed, especially if maybe you are someone who goes on social media platforms like TikTok, you will see how people cut people out of their lives. They cut people out. And I don't know if you can keep cutting. I mean, there are people who will be very vocal and say, you just cut. Remember, we speak from a Christian perspective, so we always have to keep that in mind. And I don't think necessarily being Christian means being a doormat. But how do we then deal with these issues where we get hurt like other people and you don't want it to repeat itself again, and it's not healthy? But what do you do to then navigate it in a more healthy way? I'm sure you've been betrayed. Maybe you are the other person. You are the person who has betrayed other people. That too is also something that happens where you have been betrayed, or you have betrayed other people. Maybe you once deeply trusted someone before and they broke your trust, and now you're suspicious of everyone around you. You've been lied to. You've pretended to be okay with someone when deep down you are far from okay with them. And it was smile, but you know that I can't stand this person. I'm upset with this person. Are you struggling to get over how someone hurt you? Are you struggling? Perhaps you want to trust this person again, but it's hard. Of course, it's hard. Trust has been broken. Have you felt robbed by someone you trusted? Have you gave your all and they gave you crumbs in return? When you thought that time would strengthen your relationship, but they still show you that, like age, time is nothing but a number. You thought that you were strong, but you cry and you can't stop crying. Oksalayo, you've been hurt, you know? And now you walk around with an uninvited emotion. It's called resentment. And it's eating you up inside. It's really eating you up inside. And of course, think about it this way. Maybe you are the person who has hurt people that deeply. And if you are the person who has hurt people, you are probably hoping that you could get grace from that. When you are the victim, you might see it from a different angle. Dumela, Coach Lunga. All right. I don't know what's going on. There we go. Yes, we can hear you nice. And here, I hope that you heard our intro to this resentment issue, an important conversation, yeah?
Yes. I think it's extremely important. Yeah. Sorry, I was going to ask, the video, you want it on, off? How would you like it?
Whatever you are comfortable with, honestly.
Right. Good morning, Millicent. It's been a while. It's been a long time since we've shared the radio space. Thank you for having me this morning, and excuse me, congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
I pray that you get it.
Thank you.
Awesome, really awesome. So good luck with that. So coming with this topic, right? This is a very important topic in conversation. that I really that's what inspired it. Like I was like, no, this conversation I need to have it, but most importantly, I need to have it with you, and
Okay.
break this thing down, because resentment, right? Um, I would like for us to go and get the dictionary definition of resentment.
Okay.
And if I don't know if you're able to look it up there, I'm on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, let's find a definition of it, resentment, so that we understand the word itself, what it means, and the root of it and where it comes from, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then we'll add on to the other elements. I remember when we are preparing for this conversation, you and I, you shared, I think it was a song. Um, I can't remember who the artist is. Beyonce?
Lyrics.
Lyrics,
Yes.
sorry. Song, lyrics. It's Beyonce, right? Yeah. So there are many people, and we also see it. No, I mentioned that because I read it, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
we interpret and see things differently,
Okay.
and this is why I want us to start with the dictionary definition of resentment, and then we can
Okay.
look at the word itself in different settings, and then also then come and then look at it at what it means. Because I heard you in your intro, that. We understand it in a different way, especially
Okay.
when to relations and relationships, love relationships or any other, because resentments can also be towards not just people, but it can
Mm-hmm.
be resentment towards things, resentments
Oh.
towards institutions. Like you may have a resentment towards the church, or
Mm.
resentment towards SARS or school, or
Mm.
like a particular institution that maybe you thought they harmed you, and then you harbor a resentment towards people, places, and things. You know,
Yeah.
some can have resentments towards songs. Because these songs make them feel a particular way, or something happened in this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah. So those things happen, and even color, things like small little things. We laugh when we look at it and say, "Ah, you're being silly," but small little things can create that resentment in somebody. But
Mm.
you found the dictionary definition.
Yes, we do have it here. I got it from the Merriam Webster Dictionary. Resentment is a feeling of indignant displeasure or persistent ill will at something regarded as a wrong, an insult, or injury. Hmm.
Yeah, you see
Yeah.
that. So I may be sitting. So I may be sitting here, and I have a resentment towards Millicent, and yet she knows nothing about it. Millicent, in
Mhm.
a way, she's enjoying her
Ngicela
life.
silungise le ndaba ngikwatele.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's because
Yeah.
that a wrong or harm was done to me, and then I harbor that resentment,
Okay.
right? Um, um,
Hmm.
like trying to drink poison and hoping that the next person will die or feel the effect of it. It only
Mm-hmm.
kills resentment, and resentment is a huge killer. It's a huge disruptor of society, a huge disruptor of relationships and households and homes. And that's why I thought it was important for us to really talk about resentments, and far
Mm-hmm.
beyond just what, because people, all of us, we tend to approach the world wearing a mask of some sort. Either I can be a victim or a perpetrator or this or that. We all kind of put on certain masks and
Mm-hmm.
certain things. So I think I reserved in the last segment of, because I love to go through the questions that you'd come up with for this our conversation, because I felt that they are very systematic. They will get us to a place where we can really kind of summarize the conversation, and then I'll end at the end with a few solutions or suggestions that I can put forward to our listeners, and that they can then start working on to rid themselves of resentments. I too, I'm a human being, so obviously I also have resentments that I am working through, and I continuously work through.
Mm-hmm.
So, like we've said before in our many conversations, Millicent, that healing is not a destination, but it starts to become a lifestyle. Why do I say it?
Mm.
Because now it impacts how you eat, what you eat, what time you sleep, because now you need to have at least
Yeah.
6 rest so that you can have, your mind can be fresh. the people you hang around, because now you need to kind of absorb good energies and align with like-minded people. So the whole purpose of me wanting to champion and lead conversations around
Mm-hmm.
resentment is because not only do I want to free myself of my own burdens that I carry, because resentment comes with burdens, heavy, and it alters your personality, I believe, and it alters how
Oh,
you engage.
interesting.
Yeah, well, this is, look, this may not be scientifically proven. uh, i'm
Mm-hmm.
i'm I can be challenged on these things. 90% of what I say is coming from personal experience and how I perceive the world, and how I've also engaged in these different topics.
Okay.
The 10% obviously is the time I try and spend on researching and getting the right facts around certain things, so people can challenge me in what I say. I welcome that. I grow that way. So yeah, and resentments can really destroy families and yourself, and especially you, the individual who's harboring that resentment, because
Mm-hmm.
it alters the state of mind and who you are and how you engage with the world. Now you come across as being very bitter and, hey, what's about all that on a post, and they think that's just your nature, but it's because you are dealing with resentments, and then they've kind of fused themselves with you. Now you don't know who is reacting and speaking. Is it you, the true you, or is it the resentments? You always ask yourself a question: why muto warape like a prayer warrior at church?
Mm.
Can now leading prayer, but it's so mean.
Mm.
It's so mean. Why I mean so hunting the Holy Spirit? I'm okay, like what's going on? It's because that
Mm-hmm.
person is harboring a wrong which they believe was done to them, and because they believe that, they get so angry, and then they project, and then they
Mm.
do this, they do that, and then you move. I think I heard you in your intro talking about how people feel that they have been betrayed or left by some people whom they thought they gave everything to. Even that statement on its own can have a lot of, like, what do you mean you've given so much to someone else, so now they automatically owe you? Sometimes these resentments can also be hidden with expectations that are unfounded.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
How do you
Mm-hmm.
now wake
Mm-hmm.
up in the morning and have such humongous expectations from another living human being like you, who is flawed? It's a bit, so the purpose for this ultimately is to assist each other to be stronger, and also start untangling the mess in which we've gotten ourselves into, because we were harboring resentments that we didn't know we were harboring. Some
Okay.
resentment, some of the wrongs that were done to you were not of your own choosing, nor did you, for example,
Okay.
a child was neglected or a child was abused,
Mm.
may have resentment towards either a male figure or a female figure, depending on whom caused the harm, or
Mm-hmm.
may to have resentment towards law enforcement because Ekai, I was so strict, and at home this and things were done in a particular way that that child felt unseen, unloved, unsupported. Thus, resentment started growing inside of them, and when they became an adult, now this resentment is festering and showing itself in rebellion against the law, because at home the father was so tight with his laws, or the mom was so tight with his laws, you know those things, you didn't cause that. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It wasn't
I
your
hear
doing.
you.
So,
Yeah.
but the healing is your responsibility.
Okay.
And you understand, it becomes, you see, but this is why we need to get serious when we want to heal. That's why even in the word of God it says that you can't be lukewarm, because God will spit you out. Either you're hot or you're cold. You know what I mean? I say this because once you have to face these type of things, as a grown men who are dealing with issues of when they were 10 years old,
Mm.
at some point you can't really kind of go soft and hold them with gloves for too long, because we need to get honest, and most of the time honesty is a bit brutal, and for us to get through those resentments, we need to be made aware of what those resentments are.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if we can't follow the root of where they come from, it's okay. Don't go down that rabbit hole of trying to do too much investigations. Sometimes I know we
Oh,
get stuck Dr. Google or psychoanalyzing ourselves and going really deep in trying to discover the root of something
yeah.
instead of saying it's a problem. How do you fix it?
Mm,
Millie,
mm.
I'm gonna keep going if you don't interrupt. So,
So, okay, I was going to first start off by saying, I don't know, the quality of the sound. Maybe we should switch off your video because maybe it's affecting the quality of the sound. And then
cool.
hopefully that'll be better. Sure, you've said quite a mouthful. I want to start from the beginning. You said sometimes we are able to locate where the resentment comes from, and sometimes we can't, and don't go through the and it's not always necessary to go through the rabbit hole of finding that resentment of the cause rather of the resentment. That's a tough one. Maybe then you can tell us what are some of the common issues that maybe a lot of people have resentment about so that we have an idea. I'm very interested in then knowing how do you know that you have resentment towards something also? Like what is a test to know and acknowledge that? Budlunga, have we lost you? I see. Maybe let's try this one. Okay. I think we're struggling a bit with the connection with Ubudlunga. So as we try and see whether we can get him on Budlunga, even without the
Hi, can you hear
video,
me?
if you can hear me, yeah, please. Did you hear my question?
No. I got cut off for some reason.
Oh, I was acknowledging what you mentioned about finding out what the cause of resentment is. But interestingly, you also said don't go through the rabbit hole of trying to find it if you don't know, which I find very interesting, bit of an oxymoron. But how
Yeah,
does a person know that they harbor resentment? What is the test for that?
sure. That's a very good question. Can you hear me? Please, at any point in time, if you can't hear me,
Yes, I'll let you know.
uh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
Um, hmm. Let's see. First of all you need. Maybe let's start with the first part of your question. Oh, sorry. Um, okay. The first part of the question is you should kind of find out why you've got that resentment. It's very important. And why I say don't go through the rabbit hole is because you can get stuck there. And sometimes if it's really like serious trauma, it's better that you do it with a professional, like through therapy or a life coach, or someone who can then be able to assist you, because some traumas really are heavy. You know, it's important that you are in a safe space all the time. Is
Mhm.
there a test on doing this? It's not that cut and dry, but you can check yourself or ask yourself a question: is who am I angry at? Why am I angry at this person? And whatever they've done to me or didn't do, what area of my life is it affecting? And then you kind of like also kind of pray about finding an answer and a solution. But I'll go into detail about it towards when we close in terms of how you can go about it.
Okay.
But I'll let you leave it there for now.
How have you? I'm sure you've met people in your sessions who don't admit to being angry with whatever. They say, "I'm not angry." Is that just denial, or can someone come and tell you that you obviously have a resentment towards this person, but when you don't see that, and you don't acknowledge that? I don't know if there's something like that, where you don't think that there's anything wrong with you, or. Okay, we've lost Butlunga again. If you are speaking Butlunga, you are muted and we cannot hear you. So please just take notes of that. We're trying to handle a very important conversation, that of resentment. And our WhatsApp line is +2773 4703520. If you would like to partake in the conversation, that is the number to use. Butlunga, yes, sir, you were saying. Okay, this is a bit of a tricky conversation for me. I mean, not conversation per se, but I think it's a bit tricky. I think the network might be bad. I don't know if he cannot hear me. I'm thinking about maybe shifting the conversation to a different platform so that we can have a seamless flow without the break-ins in between. There, I don't know, guys. I get interesting messages. I don't always know if it's a real person or if it's robotic. Yeah. But this person has mentioned some interesting things about resentment nonetheless. Let's just look at maybe one of the messages that they sent through. Um, there are times when we
Hi,
need to
Millie.
install. Yes, Abutilunga, we are here. There are
Yeah,
times when
I'm sorry. Hello.
yes, we can hear you. I was just going through a message that we got through where
Oh,
someone said there are
sorry.
times when we need to instill boundaries and walk away. Walking away might be a solution, but when you are hurting, get therapy to help you cope. Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you so much. I can't say your name, but thank you so much for that. Okay, you're a person also correcting me over there. Yes, Butlunga, if I've got you back, please, let's hear your thoughts. All right. For me, this one is not
Yeah,
working.
Millie.
So,
I'm here.
uh,
No, I'm here. Hello.
mhm,
Can you hear
yes, I can.
me? Are you able? Oh, great.
Mm-hmm.
No, so what happens? I don't know. Maybe it's my side or yours, but there seems to be
A
like every now and then
delay.
like a little crackling sound. Like it cracks and then it gets louder and louder. But anyway, technology. Um, we thank
Okay.
God we're here. Let us let us try and let us try and proceed before I have resentment towards this connection. Because it's doing harm.
Mm-hmm.
So please repeat that question again. I only got to like the tail end of it. I think you were asking when some people say they're okay, but and then I lost you there.
Yeah, yeah. I was just saying that there are times when people don't acknowledge that they are angry, and I'm also no nakishap. And then mhlambe when you're like, sounds like you're very angry with your father. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm okay. Those kinds of things. Um that how and that's why I wanted to know, how do you then identify resentment? Because you mentioned that it affects how we live our lives, how we eat, like everything really. But if a
Yeah,
person does not acknowledge it, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying. How do you identify it, Bila Bila?
So look, um, it's not something that you can identify like when you get a pimple, on your face,
Mm-hmm.
or when you have anxiety or panic attack. It's not like that visible. It's very, it's hidden, like because it's so infused with who you are, and sometimes it's just like, I'm just upset by something, or because resentment kind of brews and grows over
Okay, okay,
time,
okay.
over years.
Woodmunga, it's very bad. The sound is bad. It's crackling a lot. Okay, let's move this conversation to a different platform because this one is not going to work. We don't have much time left, but
Okay,
we'll see what we
let
can
me
do with the
disconnect and join
time that's
again.
left. +2773 4703520. That is a WhatsApp number. And of course, you are welcome to send through your commentary over there. I'm going to leave this platform and I'm going to move on to the radio platform. We are Adventist World Radio, SID Media. You can find us on Iono. You can find us by typing in on your browser, and installing our app on your phone, on your device, and of course Radio Streamer, Radio Garden, sidmedia.org. That's where you will get a hold of us. Let's go there. +277 470 3520.
Be part of the conversation.